On October 23, 2019, Maurice Robinson, a young truck driver from Ireland, parked his vehicle outside the Essex port. As he heard a noise at the back of the truck, he swung open the container doors and was confronted with a harrowing sight. The 39 Vietnamese people he had been smuggling had tragically perished. This grim event not only led to the conviction of Robinson and his associates, but ultimately played a role in the downfall of a notorious figure who shipped tons of drugs and tens of millions of pounds around Europe. Irishman Thomas Marr appeared to be an ordinary father of three. Hailing from County Offaly in Ireland, he found his way to the UK and resided in a humble house with his family, while running Thomas Marr Transport Limited, a thriving haulage enterprise. However, beneath that facade lurked a dark truth. Operating as a seemingly legitimate road hauler, Marr used trucks registered in Bulgaria to sidestep stringent UK regulations. But in fact, he facilitated organised crime by transporting drugs from the UK to Ireland and laundering money. Amassing a criminal reputation and with associates tied to multiple murders, he eventually moved his family to northwest England for their safety. There, he soon became known as the Man in Liverpool. Despite his illicit dealings, Marr maintained an outwardly ordinary life in Warrington, Cheshire, where his wife ran a local beauty salon. Yet privately, Marr enjoyed the luxuries afforded by his criminal enterprises. He possessed an assortment of high-end vehicles, valuable artwork, and expensive watches. In addition, Marr spared no expense on lavish vacations, indulging in first-class trips to Mexico and New York. In Dubai, he bought an expensive artwork including a world map made out of bullets. He also owned property in Spain, where he lived a life of luxury. You see, Marr liked to spend money, lots of money. At one point, the National Crime Agency began to notice that Marr's extravagant possessions far exceeded his declared income, which sparked an investigation. Meanwhile, Marr used an encrypted phone when managing his illegal pursuits. Looking like regular phones, the user could access a hidden software system called EncroChat by pressing certain buttons, allowing him to secretly send messages to other EncroChat users. Marr initially used the nickname Satirical, but later, when he acquired a new device, it changed to Snacker. Investigation revealed how he'd been bragging in his EncroChat messages about being involved in organized crime for over 20 years. After staying off the radar for 2 decades, the King of the Road was revealed as a significant figure in the underworld. His luck only ran out when authorities probed an unrelated case. In 2019, Marr's fortunes took a downturn. He'd sold a truck to an Irish criminal named Ronan Hughes, who, unbeknownst to Marr, used it to smuggle Vietnamese migrants into the UK. In October 2019, those migrants were all found dead, and both Robinson and Hughes admitted guilt to 39 counts of manslaughter. In 2021, they, along with their accomplices, were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 13 to 27 years. Shortly after the sinister discovery, Marr was also detained, but he was released without charges. Much to Marr's astonishment, it was discovered that the truck had remained registered under his wife's name after it was sold, leading the National Crime Agency to start an investigation. While authorities eventually cleared Marr of involvement in the migrant conspiracy, they gradually uncovered his participation in other criminal activities, prompting them to start an investigation and seize his assets. Marr seemed to become aware of his communication being intercepted and switched to using EncroChat. The police suspected that he hid his phones outside his home each night when not in use. But despite increasing pressure from law enforcement, Marr maintained confidence in the security of EncroChat. Although he used coded language, he persisted in talking on the phone about matters involving drug trafficking and money laundering. Little did he know, the NCA was on the verge of gaining access to his communications. In late 2019, the NCA initiated Project Phonetic to target EncroChat and its users in the UK, while around the same time, a French court investigation uncovered EncroChat servers near the Belgian border. The French were able to obtain images of EncroChat hardware, revealing details of Marr's drug trafficking. Operating under the guise of a busy hauler, Marr used hidden compartments concealed in trucks to move substantial amounts of high-purity cocaine across Europe and cash into the hands of drug gangs. In one particular instance, Marr used his phone to coordinate a transport of 10 kilos of cocaine. The drugs would be delivered to a truck driver in the Netherlands by a courier driving a silver Hyundai. The trucker would subsequently transport the drugs to the UK, with eventual onward transit to Ireland. In Ireland, Mar's associate would retrieve the drugs by identifying the correct truck through a displayed name in the window. On April 4, 2020, Mar sent several messages to an accomplice that seemed suspiciously related to the organization of that particular transport. Meanwhile, messages showed that Mar was fixated on Ronan Hughes, the smuggler who neglected to register the truck, consequently attracting police scrutiny. Although Hughes had fled the country following the migrant fatalities, Mar was clearly out for revenge. Despite warning about the NCA's investigation, Mar kept sending messages to associates regarding Hughes, implicating that he wanted to let someone hurt him. The NCA interpreted these messages as a threat to Hughes' life. Mar became increasingly worried about the NCA, and investigators noticed him talking about escaping. His messages suggested that he thought he could leave the country without a passport by hiding in a truck. He planned to get travel documents in Spain and then go to a country without extradition treaty. One time, Mar was prepared to leave, but his plantar fasciitis caused too much pain for him to walk to the vehicle, so the plan was delayed. Mar, who suffered a stroke in his 20s, dealt with several health conditions, including this rare foot condition. Nevertheless, Mar did pose a clear flight risk. Coupled with the fact that EncroChat had alerted its users about the system being hacked, the NCA prioritized Mar's arrest and the seizure of his phone. On June 13, 2020, the NCA headed to Mar's home and arrested him. However, neither of the two EncroChat devices linked to him were recovered. Fortunately, investigators had already amassed weeks of data showing how Mar acted as a go-between and logistics manager. Passwords, times, details of stops, and prices were passed through his devices. The data also showed numerous photos of his feet and other images captured inside his home, leaving no doubt that Mar himself had sent the messages. Although Mar chose to remain silent during the subsequent police interrogations, the incriminating EncroChat messages led to Mar being charged with drug importation and money laundering. It became clear that between March and May 2020, Mar had played a significant role in conspiracies to transport a total of £1.5 million worth of cocaine from the Netherlands to Ireland and to launder £1 million of cash. The judge considered him to be an extremely important cog in the wheel of a sophisticated network. As a trusted organizer, he played a big part in the international distribution of Class A controlled drugs. Messages disclosed Mar's fees, which could reach €4,000 for a standard drug transaction. Following his arrest, NCA officers seized several luxurious vehicles, including a Land Rover Discovery, a high-end Range Rover, and an imported Corvette worth €82,000. Mar pleaded guilty to 4 counts of conspiracy to commit a crime abroad. He never attempted to legally challenge the evidence derived from the EncroChat devices. After years of evading the law, Mar was jailed for 14 years and 8 months at Liverpool Crown Court in December 2020. It was established that he had played a key role in a highly professional operation, acting as a logistic man for some of Europe's most notorious organized crime gangs, shipping tons of drugs and tens of millions of pounds around Europe. Mar became one of the first prominent criminals to be convicted and jailed due to the EncroChat hack. The case around a conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm against Ronan Hughes, to which Mar had pleaded unguilty, never made it to court. In May 2023, the King of the Road was dealt another blow as he was ordered to pay £620,000. A proceeds of crime case was heard at Liverpool Crown Court, in which a confiscation order was made for his house in Warrington, cars, trucks, high-value watches, artwork, and gold ingots bought in Dubai. That was it for today's video. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see our next videos.